I wanted to share some tips with you guys on cutting carpet grass that I've picked up over the years. All right, so these are a couple of things that I believe are essential for a nice green lawn. To begin with, it starts with your lawnmower. Now, most lawnmowers, they have some type of adjuster, height adjuster. You always want to go with the highest settings, and I'll show you why in a little bit. But if you have a wheel adjuster in the front or the back, right here, always try to level it to the highest setting possible. Okay, that's number one, very, very important. What this does is it allows the grass to grow high enough or tall enough to when you water it, the sun doesn't evaporate the water that you watered it on, and at the same time it gives you a little bit of a healthier, spongier look. Okay, so the second thing that you need is you're gonna need a bag to collect all the clippings. Now, there's a myth going on out there that it's good for the grass to leave the clippings so that it kind of nourishes it, but I'm going to show you a little bit why it can to some extent damage your grass. So as far as the lawnmower is concerned, the two tips are put your wheels on the highest settings and have a bag to pick up all the clippings. The next step, or the next tip that I would recommend you guys do, is invest in a spreader. Now, this spreader here is a multi-purpose spreader. You can use it for many things, but what I use it for is to spread my Scott's Turf Builder. This is a weed and feed for carpet grass. All right, so this one I apply it about 4 times a year. You're looking at maybe very early spring, in spring, middle of the summer, and then late summer. So you look at maybe like February, then late April, then mid-July, and then maybe late August is when I would apply this. And what this does is it doesn't eliminate totally all of your weeds from your grass, but it does help control it. All right, so yes, it does come out pretty expensive, but I've noticed that if you go to Amazon, sometimes they have a special. Like this bag I got for $21 on special. So as far as that's concerned, we're good there. I'm going to show you why I ask you guys to leave it high to pick up the clippings. And I'm going to walk over to my front lawn so you guys can see the difference. I'll see you over there in a bit. Alright, so I'm over here in my front lawn. Another thing I wanted to cover was when you're finished cutting the grass, it is highly recommended that you turn on your lawnmower. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. You turn on your lawnmower and let it run out of gas. When you do leave the gas in there, it kind of damages the inside of your engine. So don't leave the gas in there, let it run out. Now, this is demonstration number 1. My grass is here, neighbor's grass is over there. Okay, so the difference to me are those tips that I gave you. I think my grass is greener because of the bonus weed and feed that I feed my grass every 2 to 3 months during growing season. All right, so as you can tell, that has a little bit to do with it. That's partially why. The other reason my grass looks a lot greener than my neighbors is because I cut my grass. My neighbors have somebody cut their grass. They pay somebody, and what they do is they say the lowest setting possible. So what ends up happening is that they start cutting and cutting and cutting really low to where, let me give you a quick demonstration. My grass is here, it's very spongy, have to go all the way in like that. All right, and what happens is when you start cutting it too low, this kind of starts to happen. You start seeing a lot of the dryness here. Why? Because you didn't give the grass enough protection to be able to contain that water. Okay, so I mean, I think it's very clear cut. High cut on the grass, the highest setting on your lawnmower with the bonus weed and feed, and low setting on your lawnmower with no bonus weed and feed. Okay, so those are two distinctions right there, right off the bat. Now, another reason you want to keep your grass a little bit higher is because when you let it grow up, or you let it grow a little bit taller than normal, you're gonna start allowing the grass to kind of like network itself out. And I'm gonna walk around and see if I can find an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you see this little piece of grass here that that is kind of like sticking out, this is a very good sign. This is telling you that the grass is not only growing, but it's wanting to spread. So what this is happening is that it's starting to grow, and these little things are going to spread out and then make this grass even denser. Okay, so that's one really good example of why you want to leave your grass a little bit higher. Here's another one. Yes, I just cut the grass, and you're going to notice that these things are cut, but because I'm letting it grow up, look at how tall this is. It's already going down. So what's going to happen eventually is this is going to kind of like weave its way in there and make this grass a lot stronger. It's going to fortify it. Okay, so look at this one. This is barely starting off here too. If I were to cut this grass any lower, what would happen is that I would actually cut this off, and this would never grow, and you'll start seeing those little patches that you see over there. Okay, so now the next myth, or the next thing I wanted to cover, was you should leave your clippings in the grass because it's some type of fertilizer. Now, to me, I might do it once a season, maybe, but no more than once a season. And the reason being is not that I did this on purpose, but what I ended up doing is when I cut my grass, there's some parts that my lawnmower cannot reach. And you're gonna notice right now, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, but these parts, I need to cut them with the weed eater, and there's no way for me to pick up that grass. So you're gonna notice, again, this is an example of my grass here. So you can see the shade going into my fingers. That's how deep it is, where I pick up the lawn clippings. Now over here on this side, it's too close for the lawnmower to pick up the lawn clippings, so I kind of leave the lawn clippings. And you can tell a dramatic difference between one side to the other. I can pick up the lawn clippings over here. Here I can't. So what's happening here, within time, all those lawn clippings are kind of embedding themselves in here, and it's kind of suffocating the grass. See all these lawn clippings? These should have been picked up. I really can't pick these up with a lawnmower, so that's why it's damaging my thing. So this is one of the reasons that I would strongly recommend you pick up your lawn clippings. Now this part of the grass, I recently planted it about 4 months ago, and as you can tell on this part, like from about here over this way, this is all new grass. Okay, so if you notice here, it's still very spongy. Again, we're going back to the sponge, but over there in the corners where I can't reach, you're gonna notice that it starts to thin out. You can even see some of the grass that I've left behind when I just cut the grass right now. This will eventually really thin out my grass. So strongly recommend that you pick up your clippings. All right, next thing is, carpet grass needs a lot of water. If you're not willing to spend a little bit of money on watering your lawn, there's no point in doing this. I have a sprinkler system that goes on 4 times a week. Granted, I am in Texas, which is a very hot state, so that kind of like dictates how much water to put, but you need to be watering your grass a lot in order for it to stay this green. All right, now one of the things that you're going to come up with is, well, I'm going to leave my grass pretty tall, and I have a sprinkler system. My grass is going to be taller than my sprinkler system. So what I was able to do is I went to Home Depot and I bought these these little green things that are like sprinkler head protectors. So I buried these where my sprinkler heads are supposed to be. All right, so first things first, what this does is every time I cut the grass, I know where my sprinkler heads are, so I can cut around it. The second thing is, what this also allows me to do is with the weed eater, I cut a little bit lower. I don't know if you can tell, this is a little bit lower than this one, but I cut it a little bit lower all the way around. That way when the sprinklers do come up, this grass is not blocking the water from spreading all over the place. All right, so if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will try to answer them as to the best of my ability. But if you follow these steps, it's not going to be an overnight. You're not going to see a difference overnight. It will take a couple of months for you guys to see differences in your grass, but if you follow these steps and be consistent with it, you should be able to see a difference in how your grass starts to grow. All right, so if you have any questions, comments, or videos that you might want to see, please let me know, and I can do my best to try to answer them. Now, just as I was walking, I just kind of looked at this one here. The other two that you guys saw were, I guess you would call them baby grass that's coming out. This one's already established. I'm trying to pull this up and it won't come up. Why? Because it's already gone to a point where it grew out, it went in there and it dug itself in. So now this is pretty much becoming part of the grass, right? This would not have happened if I was cutting it too low. All right. Thanks for watching.